Welcome to the XYZ podcast. I am millennial producer Tony. This is episode 42. Joining me as always are your hosts, Gen X Brian.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
And Gen Z Winston.
What it do? Ooh.
What it do? Number 2. We're back at it. This will be going out in video format for those of you listening on audio. So feel free to stop and watch, or watch later, or watch again. But this is our second annual Halloween spectacular. We're about to do costume reveals because all of our videos are off right now. So we've already determined Brian's going first. Brian.
The most lackluster reveal. I'm going as the exact same guy that I was last year at this time, Gen X Brian. Right.
It almost looked like millennial Brian for a second there with the beanie on, though.
Well, yeah, but this is what I was wearing last year, and because it was actually cold at this time last year, but it is not. So the beanie's probably going in just a few minutes. But I had to complete the. I've got my three Floyds shirt on, which is a brewery in Munster, Indiana, and they have a Zombie Dust beer, which also has this skull laden T-shirt. So that's me.
All
Let me see
right.
you guys, because clearly yours are much better.
Yes. As my name states,
Dave Hanson.
Dave Hanson. Will the camera work? Is it going to turn on? There it is.
Ah, there it is.
In my Chiefs jersey, and I didn't tape my glasses, and I didn't put on the foil, but I am one of the Hanson brothers.
All right, I'm
Are you gonna
afraid to
sing
ask
Mbop?
this. Who's Dave Hanson?
No. Not Hanson. Hanson brothers. Different.
The
Completely
Hanson
different.
brothers, yeah.
Yes,
They
from the
sing Mbop,
1977 Paul Newman movie Slapshot, filmed in Johnstown.
Not the Bob Hanson brothers
No.
that, you know. Oh,
Oh
okay.
my god, that's
You look-
so funny.
You look good. And I don't know who Vote For Me is, but let's see what's going on with Vote
Are
For
we
Me.
ready for my review? All right, I think I'm
Tony, I
like
do
the
your
most like.
costume. I do like your costume.
I feel like I put in the most effort every time we do an episode for Halloween, which is the second episode. But
Every single time.
Yeah, but all right, hold on. Ready? It is I, President Loki. Vote for me. Hold on, where is it? Yeah, you see it, chat.
There you go.
There you go.
Vote for me,
Vote-
President
vote for
Loki.
me. I am President Loki.
Nice.
You know,
Honestly,
did you know that President Loki was Asian? Hats off to you guys for not seeing race.
Yeah, I would say that any other alternative at this point would be a solid vote. I would vote for President Loki.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I should be running. for
Somehow
president.
the god of mischief,
Less evil.
less evil and tells the most lies somehow, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't understand, but I would bet my life on it.
Right. Yeah. It's see, and then Baby Groot's here with me too. I kidnapped him.
Yeah.
Maybe Groot.
But I will say, holy shit, is it hot wearing this? Like this thing is making me sweat like crazy. And I'm in a 3-piece suit. Like,
Yeah,
oh
I
God.
was gonna go with another Marvel costume that I had, and I went, it's too much.
Yeah, fair enough.
Maybe
Especially
next
with the-
year. I still have it for next year, so
So
Alright.
are you going to wear that? Is that your? So last year you were Doctor Strange, and Winston, you were Howl from
Yeah.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Right.
Tony, are you going to be repping that costume at Halloween while you pass out candy?
well, nobody came to my house last year
Oh,
for
that's
candy, so I won't be passing out candy this year. I don't know. I like the Doctor Strange costume. I'll probably dress up as that again. I figured I'd try something different for the.
That's good. I'm sorry I
Right.
didn't. I'm sorry to disappoint. I know people were tuning in from last year going, what possibly could Brian be wearing? And then Winston, you're a younger man. Going out on Halloween's a younger man's game. What do you have planned for this trick or treat?
For trick or treating, I really don't know. We don't really have plans going this year. Like, I mean, like, I don't have plans ever for Halloween. This is my plan. This is my Halloween right
This
here.
is your big celebration.
Yeah, this is it. My roommates don't really do Halloweens either, and we live in a neighborhood without like kids which is
Yeah.
great, by the way. Amazing. We don't have a school bus that stop here
Yeah.
ever. But yeah, like it's just so weird. We're not gonna put out a bowl of candy or nothing, and like We're not gonna, I don't know.
Well, Halloween's on a Thursday, so I mean that
Yeah.
I think most people have to go to work. My kids had a hard time understanding when they were little why that wasn't like a holiday that we got off. It's like no, we're gonna trick or treat and then you go to school the next day. It's a pagan holiday, you sinners.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna know. I already know Winston's answer is no. But Brian, did you do like trick or treat kind of stuff at school?
I do remember in grade school you'd wear your costume, and I don't know if you went to classrooms and got candy, maybe. Um, but not like a trunk or treat thing. I mean, I know they did have that in areas, but we lived in a cul-de-sac, so our neighborhood was like perfect for trick or treating. And I know we've talked about this before, but yeah, we would go out, and I mean, I would love to know how many miles we covered because I mean, it was it was everything was connected, neighborhoods were connected, so you really could just go,
Yeah.
and just go as far as until you filled up your pillowcase full of candy, and then came back and the occasional variation on the costume. If somebody had a full candy bar, you'd kind of try and switch it up and go get a full size candy bar. Although today, man, candy prices are insane.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. I haven't like had a real like full size candy bar in forever because of how expensive it is.
Yeah, like if
Like,
you go to the gas station, they're
Yeah.
like I think what, like $3?
yeah,
3 or
man.
Three,
four.
$4? Yeah.
You're lucky if you can get like a 2 for $5 deal going sometime. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winston,
but
I would love it if you stopped hugging your microphone.
I can't, man. It's like I'm sweating, I'm hot, I need to do something, but
Just-
okay.
Just I mean
It's like I'm fucking sweating in this, man. This is awful. Why did I
Alright.
choose this costume?
So,
But I will say,
go-
hold on, I will say this. You guys remember when it's actually cold every time you go trick or treating?
Oh yeah.
It's not like that anymore. It's like 80 degrees outside today.
It is
like,
very warm today. It is definitely hot, which didn't happen. I mean, every year that in the South in Atlanta, that was always kind of the marker. Will it be cold on Halloween or not? And
Right.
last year it was very cold. My wife and I built a fire, sat out near the street, and handed out candy. I showed off my very nicely carved Spider-Man pumpkin, and we gave out candy, and it was freezing. It
Yeah,
was
it
so
was
cold.
last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
I mean, we
So-
still have like a week, before Halloween's come around, but we'll see. But I really don't think it's gonna be that cold like it normally was.
This
Which-
is where you can get to talk about global warming.
Yeah, I think that's the real horror story, folks.
Well, we're talking king size candy bars. Like, what if you go to the gas station? What's your go to?
Oh, a Twix.
Regular,
but
just
like
regular.
No, well, now that we have like the newer like Twix stuff, like you guys ever tried the cookie dough Twix? I think it's the cookie dough one. It's
No.
like a teal wrap instead of like because I think they have like the bread one, which is like a peanut butter or something. Hold on, I gotta look this up now.
Yeah, like the gold's regular caramel, or red is peanut butter, and peanut butter one's pretty good.
They stopped doing that nonsense with the left one and the right one. Was that just their commercials?
Yeah, that was stupid. I don't know what that was about.
Hey man, just like Hollywood, also out of
Oh,
ideas.
While he's looking that up, Brian, what would be your go to?
This is kind of weird. Generally don't, but and this is not like a favorite, but I would probably say I've bought a whatchamacallit more times.
I was
in
gonna
those
listen,
situations.
Winston. I don't know why. As soon as I asked him, I was just like, he's gonna pick something weird like a Clark bar or something. It's gonna be not a normal freaking candy
He
bar.
likes
And
his
boy,
old
was I
people
right.
Candy, man.
Whatchamacallit is a classic candy bar.
I'm waiting for
Old
Brian to
person
go.
candy.
Zero. Love a zero bar. So what the freaking heck's wrong with you, man?
No, I really thought he was gonna go for a York, Tony.
York peppermint patty.
Yeah.
A chunky.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
a chunky.
Hey, when I was a kid, I don't even know if they don't have them anymore, but Reggie bars, Reggie Jackson, baseball player, had Reggie bars, and they are like some sort of candy I used to get all the time when I would go to yeah, what's wrong with the whatchamacallit?
See,
It just
good,
sucks.
man.
I got somebody in chat agreeing. Usually my go-to is a Carmelo.
Carmelo.
That's
Carmelo.
fancy.
It's a little
Yeah.
fancy.
You get those things and then the strings hang down your chin, but they are
They're
good.
so good. I had one recently. It's instant mud mouth. They're
Ugh.
so good, but it's that liquid caramel and
Yeah.
like a real
Oh, I hate
rich,
that.
decadent
Yeah.
chocolate, and it just turns your mouth to mud. And I was
It
just
is.
like, I like this, but I might be turning a corner on it. I don't know.
Right.
See, so somebody's eating those, and I'm getting made fun of for a whatchamacallit. Like, okay, what's yours, Winston? I want to hear what Winston. If
Winston
he's
went for a
grabbing
regular
candy
one.
bar.
I went
Yeah,
for a
I
little
went for
fancy, and
Twix.
you
Yeah,
went for
yeah.
something that is. Listen,
It's
I
not
was
even,
just.
wait, can
I
you
was
even buy
just
that at a gas station?
I was just at a QT recently and looking at the candy bars.
Yeah.
That's a bottom shelf bar, man.
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
whatchamacallit.
no, you gotta bend
I
over
love
to
the
pick one
idea
up.
of it. It's on the bottom shelf of the candy aisle.
Well, I should say that I probably haven't had one in a decade, though.
Okay,
Oh,
you did say
okay,
you
fair
did say that. It's
Yeah.
not normally
No,
your thing,
so
but yeah.
my go-to like gas station fuel up for a road trip is used to be a Mountain Dew and combos. And now
Oh,
it's
combos absolutely a road
Yeah.
trip snack.
What's combos?
Yeah.
You don't know
Hold on.
combos?
this guy's
No,
making
what's
fun of
combos?
whatchamacallit, doesn't even know what combos are. See,
Oh,
come on, man.
this. Oh no, I'm thinking it's like a candy. It's not. It's just
no,
the
No,
chips.
it's no, it's like a little barrel, and you've got, it's a little bread barrel with cheese stuffed in the middle.
Or pretzel
Right.
barrel.
You guys
Yeah,
want to
there
know
you go.
what mine is?
Yeah.
Cockatiel. Did you hear that?
Yeah, but neither of
no, it
us
didn't
know
go
what
through-
it is. So we're
Oh, it's
that's-
Cracker Jill, but I said it with an Asian
just.
accent.
Oh.
Yeah, come
Yeah,
on.
That's
No,
racist.
Cracker Jill is great though. It's fun. What?
There
it's
is
not
no. Is there
racist.
really a Cracker Jill?
Yeah, it's like
They did make
it's-
Cracker Jill after Cracker Jack.
Well, it's
Yeah.
Cracker Jack, but they started doing this thing where they like put other characters on the
How
front.
dare you gender my
Yeah, exactly.
what is it? My
Can't
Cracker
believe
Jack.
Cracker Jack
My
went
cracker.
woke.
It didn't. They split down the middle. They have nothing. They have no middle ground. They're not
yeah.
woke.
That's white
Exactly.
appropriation.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I always love a good like Cracker Jack, Cracker Jill for the road trip. Cracker Jill.
You do? You
Um,
do that?
yeah.
You seriously get that?
Yeah, it's great. It's like that little caramel thing, right? Right? Am I mixing it up?
Yeah,
on.
caramel corn and peanuts.
Yeah. Why is it called Cracker Jack if there's no cracker in it?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. You know what they should do? They should make that into a cereal. I feel like I would pay good money for that if that's possible. But yeah.
Do you eat cereal? Do either of you
Yeah,
eat
I
cereal
do. I
anymore?
do. We had this conversation before, no, on the podcast.
Here you go, Winston. Cracker Jack is an old-fashioned term that means
Yeah,
first
if you want to
rate
make
or
fun of some old crusty old whatchamacallits.
first rate
Cracker
or
Jack
excellent
predates
quality, and it's called that because a salesman exclaimed, "That's a Cracker Jack," after trying it for the first time. He's
He
just
was
like,
not-
"This bangs," and then they called it Bangs. That's what happened, except it was the 1920s.
Oh, that
Right.
makes sense. Yeah.
And
Wow,
then-
that
and
is an old person snack, huh?
has nothing to do with with a white person. That's
Apparently
a Cracker
not.
Jack.
I just saw a white guy walk by when he said that.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Who's
That's
that
a
new?
crack-
Who's that new intern kid? Oh,
That's
that's
a cracker.
Cracker Jack.
See, that's not that's not appropriate, right?
Yeah, it's not. That's getting cut.
Some No, as you said, that's some good early 2000s racism.
No,
Which
it is.
Which
Have
is
you
really
guys?
funny. Like since you said that and pointed that
Mhm.
out, I have noticed now that like I was listening, they were talking about The Office and some of the funny things on The Office. I'm like, that was like in the early 2000s, like
Yeah.
it seemed okay to make fun of stereotypes.
It was
but
a different
that's-
environment. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was funny though, because I'm like, well, when you would say that, I was like, I didn't fully get that until recently. I'm like, oh
Right.
yeah, we were throwing around crazy stereotypes in the early 2000s, and it was deemed okay.
If you watch Transformer 1, like the original Michael Bay Transformer, that was like peak, like me and my roommates had come to the conclusion that it was like peak early 2000 racism, because or
Yeah.
like mid 2000 racism rather. But it was just like, it was like, oh, you know what it is? It's that and a good Rush Hour. Rush
Oh,
Hour
gosh,
is,
yeah.
oh man, it's like you could never make a Rush Hour nowadays.
That's
It's
such a
just-
good
yeah.
movie.
Yeah,
And-
it's so
and-
good.
Here's what actually I just remembered what else I was reading about some Tony, this actually pertains to you, some early baseball. Matt, you know how they in baseball sometimes seventh inning they'll have some like mascots or some sort of race.
Oh,
around the track.
yeah. I think I know
And
where you're going with this, but go ahead.
but yeah, so this was when I was reading about this in the early 2000s. They started having actual races around the track, and in fact, let me go here, Tony. I'd like you to share some Pittsburgh Pirates baseball facts while I go get the actual book, so I can give you some actual facts about this.
Brian's
Pittsburgh.
pulling out a physical book for
Oh
the
boy.
podcast.
I don't know what he's about to say, but the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I know in Atlanta they do I think it's the seventh inning. Or it's not seventh inning. Because seventh inning stretches where they sing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." So I don't know what he's talking about.
Right.
So there is a point in time where they do. I think it's Home Depot sponsors them, so they have like tool races. But because it's Pittsburgh, their mascots are just pierogies, and
What's
they have
pierogies?
different. You know what? It's like a.
No.
It's like a half circle pasta thing that's usually filled with like cheesy potatoes
Oh,
That's
and then
okay.
covered in
fantastic.
butter and onions.
The
That sounds
fact that
amazing.
he
But
totally you are absolutely I love
They
the
got
fact that I
pierogi races in
stepped away.
Pittsburgh.
Yes, the great pierogi races. The
Oh.
Pirates pierogies consist of Cheese Chester,
Uh-huh.
who wears a yellow hat, Jalapeno Hannah, who has a green hat, Sauerkraut Saul in red, and Oliver Onion in purple. And it's been a big hit at the home games.
Is a pierogi just an American version of a dumpling, Tony?
No,
It
they're
looked like a
Polish.
mandu.
They're
It's
they're
like
Polish.
an empanada. I would say it's close to an empanada.
No, an empanada is like fried.
Tony, this looked like a mandu to me.
Listen, dumplings are like universal things, man.
Yeah,
These
that's
are
fair
these
enough.
are Polish. Sometimes they're Russian. Like there's actually a Catholic church in Lawrenceville that's doing their pierogi festival this weekend.
Oh,
that
really?
I'm tempted to be going to. I saw
If
their
you are-
prices, which they're overpriced. They went like $10 for a plate of pierogies, and I was like, "What?"
I'm like half
Dang.
tempted to go to. If you do go, let me know. I might just show up and.
That's
get
actually
some
what I had
pierogi.
for dinner tonight.
You had pierogies for
I
dinner?
had fish and pierogies tonight. That's what my wife made. Yeah.
But
That's
the fact that I
hilarious.
mentioned that and you come back and you're actually telling, but this is what I read that really solidified the Winston's term, the good old early 2000s racism. So similarly in the seventh inning at the in Milwaukee. So now we've moved to Milwaukee with the Brewers. They have contestants enter through the left field, and they have these sausages that have a race around the track. The Wieners start running along the foul line toward the infield. You have Guido, the Italian sausage, wearing a chef's hat. Trailing close behind you, we have Frankie Furter, a hot dog in a baseball uniform, Brett Wurst and Lederhosen, and Stosh, the Polish sausage in a rugby shirt. And so I'm like Guido the Italian sausage. And then apparently later they added Cinco the chorizo sausage. I'm like,
Oh,
all of these
God.
things you can't
That's
do
so
anymore.
messed
You had
up.
you had all of my background covered until you said chorizo.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't see anything wrong with this. I'm
Yeah,
perfect.
like,
I'm perfectly okay with
I'm sorry,
everything
you're
you've just said.
Right.
Oh, that's so
That
funny.
was, I think, also formerly at Trader Joe's, they used to have like Trader Jose's, and they would
No.
have,
Yes.
they would have different trader dudes based on the, ethnic origin of the dish.
Oh
And
man.
yeah, you had Trader Jose's for the Spanish stuff. You had like, I don't even remember what it is, but somebody took issue with it, and I guess the official thing was like, yes, we are getting rid of these prior to the complaints, but they planned on phasing them out.
I can
Right.
guarantee you, it wasn't the Italians or the Germans or the Polish.
the
that
white- it was the
it
white
wasn't
people
any of the
complaining.
people that they were stereotyping that complained
Right.
about those.
It was
Because
the
I'm
white
going,
people that shop at
go
Trader
Polish,
Joe's.
go Polish sausage, go! And it's
Yeah.
it's a bunch of other people who are like, I can't believe you'd say that. I go,
Yeah.
get out of here.
Yeah.
We don't want you at this baseball game where this freaking wiener race anyways. Get out.
Yes.
Spraying with
Guido
water like
the
a
Italian
cat.
They got
sausage,
rid
yeah.
of the wiener race because of wokeness.
The whole thing about that was though it was the not to besmirch the Pirates, the
Listen, they've not been good since the 70s. Dude.
One of-
Smirch
one of-
away.
one of the brewers came out of the dugout and cracked the Guido the Italian sausage over the back of the head with a bat.
Oh.
What?
And like he was trying to be funny, but like I guess the sausage fell down, and inside the sausage costume was like this 19-year-old girl who
Oh
like got up and
no.
like fit. I guess Guido was in the lead, and this guy. Let's see. Let's talk smack about him because he did this. Randall Simon of the Milwaukee Brewers. Yeah, jumped
Where's
out of the
Randall
dugout.
Simons at nowadays?
I don't. He got arrested.
Yeah,
but,
I was gonna say
the,
probably jail.
the girl, yeah, he did. He got arrested and hauled off to jail. And the girl, apparently, who was in Guido the Sausage, kind of laughed it off and did not press charges and was like,
Wow.
I think he was trying to be funny and like knocked the sausage over, but there's still a person in that costume.
Yeah.
So
That's where it's
Shout out
always,
Guido.
once they get close to each other and start shoving each other, that's when it's funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then Tony, what are you drinking tonight? I saw a beverage,
Oh, I'm still nursing these Mountain Dews, man.
the hard ones.
The hard ones.
The hard ones. Are they hard to get down this evening?
Yeah,
Which flavor do you have?
we got the orange one, live wire.
Live wire.
Livewire.
When I was in the
I got
store,
a drink too.
I know you're not drinking water.
Agua.
No, this is vodka.
Oh, straight vodka.
It's actually it's better. It's vinegar.
Man.
So,
So
just drinking straight vinegar is crazy though. No.
whether or not this makes the cut, I don't know. I'll tell you the story just because it's crazy. Because this was my brother's friend. It was not an acquaintance of mine, but said friend had gotten clipped for some sort of like possession of offense and had like drug ordered court tests. He had court ordered drug tests.
Ordered drug test is crazy.
And had not abided by the don't do drugs before your court test. So he was drinking straight cups of vinegar in order to flush his system out.
Oh god.
So when you said that, I was thinking, I'm like, I can't imagine like what that's doing to your liver.
I can't imagine
Yeah.
that would
Like-
work.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, I saw him in between. He was passing through Florida when this happened, so I don't know what the results were,
It's-
but yeah.
It's so weird because my roommate, like, he would randomly, occasionally take a shot of like apple cider vinegar for no
Apparently
reason.
that's good.
That's-
Yeah,
yeah,
apparently
that's
that
good
claims
for
the
you.
pipes.
Yeah, he pulled out this giant bottle the other day and he just started pouring it into a shot glass. I'm like, are you doing a shot of vinegar? He was like, yeah, apparently it's good for your health. And I was like,
Yeah.
that
I
beats
know.
me.
I know people who
Apparently.
do like a shot of that with honey in it
Yeah,
to try and
yeah,
cut it. Yeah.
yeah.
But
But I've never tasted it, so I don't know.
It's
what
rough.
Actually,
it's,
Is it?
it's vinegar, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm coming around in my older age to like the taste of vinegar, but for the longest, I mean, it was just off. But like
Oh, if
vinegar,
you-
chips,
yeah, I was like salt vinegar chips. Would
Yeah.
you
Love
like
those.
if you eat a salad? Would you pour like vinaigrette on it?
I have since started liking that a little bit. Yeah,
Fair
Us,
enough.
we've-
but
we-
again, not used to. I used to be ranch all the way.
Yeah.
We've talked before of my love for Long John Silver's, and the
The
like
only Long John Silver customer.
yeah
Him and
the
old
very
Dino.
rare times that I get it, it just gets drenched in malt vinegar. Everything,
Oh.
fries, hush puppies, chicken, fish, all of it, malt vinegar.
Oh, that's gotta be like super sour
Oh,
though.
it's
no?
so good. It's so
Ah.
that's probably why I can only eat it like once in a blue moon, because it's just like, this is about to make me sick and I'm doing it to myself.
It's your
You know,
cleanse,
it's-
though. See,
I guess so.
You know what's so funny? Speaking of getting sick from eating, man, I had lunch today and I ate like a freaking katsu curry rice from a Japanese restaurant. I got home earlier and I'm just laying in bed like, oh my god, I feel sick as hell. Like I'm texting my girlfriend and I'm like, I want to throw up. And I feel nauseous as hell. And she was like, she just didn't even know how to respond. She just put question mark. And then I knock out. Like I took a nap, but like literally I woke up 15 minutes before like our thing's supposed to start.
and
I'm
jumped in
like,
your suit and here you're
Yeah,
here.
I jumped in my suit. Like this is a facade, guy. I'm not this energetic right now. I'm actually like want to throw up. No, kidding. But yeah, it was just like I don't know. I haven't like had like katsu and curry in a minute, and I don't know if that's why that I'm feeling so sick. But yeah, it was
Or-
just weird.
Or was their food score like a 63, and that's why you're feeling
No,
sick?
it was. I hope not.
Well, I
no, it was a well established restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's their food score? I mean,
well, I have to look it up. I don't know it off the top.
do
of
you
my
guys
head.
check that? I mean, I'm like obsessive about it because that's because my brother's worked in restaurants and he's been like, Man, if you go in a place and you see anything in the low 90s or below, you probably want to steer clear. Or you're like rolling the dice because
It's always like, oh, it's
Oh.
available right here for the public, but it's not ever like in a place that I'm looking.
Yeah.
it's there.
So
I
it's
promise you.
there, but
It does.
I'm like, I'm here for what I'm here for.
It's 100 out of 100 though, Brian. So
All right.
yeah.
All right. Well, then it's your
Good
tummy.
stuff. It is. It is my tummy.
It's not foodborne illness. It's your weak your weak
Yeah.
digestive system.
No, that's it. Yeah. But no, I was gonna. Yeah. No, sorry. Go ahead, Tony.
No, I was just saying I was gonna try and keep us on Halloween stuff here since it is.
Well,
is
before we go
Yeah.
on to that, I do have a story I want to tell you guys and
Okay.
to update, Chad with it. I don't know if
Is it
So-
a spooky story?
it's not a spooky story, but it is a like what the hell kind of story.
Those are good too.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys heard about this. I don't even remember if I told you about it a few weeks back, Brian. But back in August, there was a crypto heist that happened.
A heist.
Yes.
How do you steal something that's invisible?
Exactly. I'm about to tell you exactly how they did it.
Fantastic.
So, back in the day, like, Ocean 11 or even before that, you would have to like plan out extensive, like months or year-long plan on how to like break into the bank vault, how to,
Right.
get the security, you're going to measure, top arrival time, all that. Not in 2024. Apparently, all you have to do is pretend how to be all you have to do is pretend to be a customer service call center for like,
Wow.
for a support line. So a few teenager, they're like 20 to like 18-ish. They were all in this Discord, and they worked together on like scamming like some like multi-million billionaire, crypto billionaire at that. So they call in pretending to be a customer service support, and they were like, hey, your account looked like it's at risk for yada yada. You're gonna have to reset the password.
So wait a
within-
second. So these group of discordant youth
Yeah. Yes. Uh-huh.
found out who somebody was a crypto billionaire, right?
Yes. Yes. Well, they're all blockchain, so I'm assuming you can probably trace the address of where like if somebody that has a
Okay.
lock type thing. Yeah. I'm
Okay,
assuming
so then
that's how
they
that
call
works.
this person, they target this person, and they're
Mhm.
letting him know, hey, your account may be vulnerable.
Compromised.
Okay,
Yeah.
just making
yeah.
sure I'm following along with this.
Exactly. So no, exactly. So they call this guy pretending to be like customer service or customer support, and they're like, "Hey, we got in suspicious activity," and they send him
It's
a
us.
link. Yeah, they send him a link to reset his password, and obviously, it's like at that point it just become like a phishing email, right? Guy reset his password, all that. They then obtain it. They were like, "All right, sounds good. See you later," and then just dip. So I'll tell you how much they were able to get. They were able to obtain over 4,100 Bitcoin, which was worth around $230 million. And what's crazy about this is these dumbasses recorded the whole thing. They streamed themselves into Discord, recorded it,
Oh
and
my
was
gosh.
celebrating after obtaining all of this money. And it's just like, okay, what, like, oh well, God
You just
forbid
made
this
the
goes
attorney's
out.
job so easy.
Yeah. And it was like, God forbid this video get leaks, whatever. Maybe we should lay low. Maybe we should leave the country. Maybe we should go somewhere. Nope. This motherfucker, his name is Malone Lamb, a 20-year-old Singaporean who lives in Miami. This motherfucker go to the club and bought everybody drinks, and then was like throwing like parties and stuff. And he goes, hey, who wants a Birkin bag? I'm buying everybody's Birkin bag today.
Boy, this
And
guy's
so-
got no friends.
Not only that, he was buying porn star Birkin bags, and those are like $15,000-$20,000 bag that they can probably get on their own.
Oh man.
And so it was like, okay, that's idiotic enough. And then he went and bought a Lamborghini and some like expensive, like, designer bags. And he texted this girl. He said, hey, I just want to let you know, I appreciate you. I'm going to buy you all of this stuff. This is for you. Let's call it like I love you gift or something like that. There was text that was leaked for all this. The girl had a boyfriend, and she just goes, I told you I have a boyfriend. I don't care about any of this. And he was like, I don't care, you can still have it. I'm like, how?
Yeah,
How
this
can we
guy's
have this fucking loser getting all this money? But yeah,
So
it's
let me ask you this. So you heist all this Bitcoin, right? Can
Mhm.
I then go to an ATM and take out actual cash?
There are Bitcoin ATMs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen
Well,
that.
there's
And
I don't think that's how I think you're trading that Bitcoin for like actual money from like another person.
see, that's why
I
it seems fake to me. I still don't
well,
understand
yeah,
it
well, because
fully,
it
but
is
it seems
fake. I mean, it's digital currency. It's all fake. But it was just like I'm assuming how it works is I show up, I come to you, Brian. I goes, hey man, I got like Bitcoin for sale. Let's do it market value, or maybe I'll do a few thousand below. You give me cash for it instead, and
right. I'll be
you
like,
or yeah, you how would you be like what
yeah,
before I
here
continue?
I got some arcade tokens from Showbiz Pizza. I that's
I got
here's
some
for your
cold
Bitcoin.
cash for you.
Yeah, like yeah, exactly. I am
Exactly.
rich in Cole's cash, my
Yeah.
man. I can hook
Uh,
you up.
I got GameStop in-store credits.
Oh, that's worth nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, that's how I see all of this. And I've tried to learn, and it still comes out looking like Cole's cash.
Exactly. But anyway, so long story short, they all got arrested because they're all dumbasses. All three,
Yeah.
four of them got arrested. But I just want to show you a picture of what this kid looked like. He looks like a fucking loser. Oh my
Well,
god.
your description was enough to already fill in that blank, but let's see what he actually looks like.
Here you
There
go.
you go.
Yeah, look at him. Look
Yeah.
at this dweeb, 20-year-old Singaporean who lives in Miami and Los Angeles was among two people charged with conspiring to steal and launder $230 million in cryptocurrency.
See, that's the problem.
There you
People's
go.
ego, man. Like if you
Yeah.
could get away with that and lay low and be like chill and like suddenly like, hey, I got a new
I would
car,
have
and
been
then
I
you
would have
buying
been in
porn
like a
stars
remote
Birkin bags
island.
for.
Yeah, exactly. Like seriously.
Yeah.
I don't know. What would you guys do if you got $230 million? What was the first thing? Like you obviously did this heist. You got a ton of money. What's the first thing you're doing?
If they're able to do that, they probably have other skills they're not applying. But you got to. I mean, that's
Yeah.
that in
I
and of
really
itself.
don't think so because I really feel like all it took for them to do it was literally like the do not redeem guide. He like that's the same skill level that we're dealing with here.
It's
He
Yeah.
sent a
also
link for this guy to like reset his password, and that's how
He
he got all
did.
the money.
it's not that much money.
What
I mean,
what do you mean? 230 million?
yeah, but for how much Bitcoin can be worth, I mean,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
grand scheme of things, and I'm assuming they split it.
Oh, then if
Yeah.
3 or 4
instead of going
ways.
like being legit and actually hanging on to that Bitcoin,
Yeah.
Well, I
instead of
just
just
wouldn't
blowing it
have done
on.
anything probably. I would have held on to it for a while before I spent any of it.
See, again, though,
Yeah.
these are all logical things that people, if they
Right.
perpetrated a crime, would do. These
Right.
people are morons. If I've learned anything from watching, what is it, On Patrol?
Yeah.
That show where they follow the police departments around. The people they caught are morons.
Yeah.
Like that's all there is to it. Is
It's
that
and you know what's funnier? It's starting to it's getting harder to differentiate between like on the was that show on
On
patrol or
Patrol
whatever
used to be
on
Live
patrol.
PD, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
they rebranded
yeah, live PD
Cops.
or yeah, between that
like
and
Cops.
Reno 911, because it's
Right.
just like it's so ridiculous, like the things that are happening right now. But
Yeah,
yeah,
the people,
anyway, that's
people that run from the cops, is interesting. I'm like, my
it's
wife and I are
stupid.
watching this. Like, what's your end game? What are you
No,
doing,
seriously.
man? You're driving. What's your
Oh,
plan here?
do you guys remember back in the day when they had that show where like cops just set up like bait cars and let people rob them so they can arrest that? What the hell
Hmm.
was that about? You
I
remember
do
that?
remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. I forgot about
That
that.
was so
That was
crazy.
that was also in the era of Chris Hansen.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Not
yeah,
one of the
yeah.
Hanson brothers, the musical group or the hockey players, but
Yeah,
he would like to see you in the other room and talk to you about what you're doing there
exactly.
tonight.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
What, the Chris Hansen show or the
Yeah.
car one?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but that was just Dateline, wasn't it? Isn't that how
Yeah,
it
but it was
started?
like it was like yeah, I think it was a segment, and then it like people were like fascinated, and then it was To Catch a Predator,
Yep.
Yeah.
and then it had his whole show. But I think they had to stop because I think it was entrapment. I think
Yeah.
I don't know what the legalities are, but I got the impression that that's what it was. Is like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
okay. yes, you are catching people that would actually do this if this was the situation, but you're setting up. It was kind of an entrapment thing, but yeah.
Right. And that's how it was with the stolen car. It was just like, like these people were just having a normal day, and then like you set up a car for them to get arrested. It's kind of like, I don't know, to me that seemed kind of fucked up.
But
That's
who
just
decides that I'm walking down the street? Well, I guess if I don't have a car, who decides I'm going to steal this
yeah,
car?
exactly.
Hey,
And I
look at
feel
that
like half
kid.
the time it was like it has to be like, staged. I don't think there's anybody that's walking around just to steal a car.
Well,
At
if you
least.
saw the show, it certainly looked like there
Right, but
was.
that's what I mean. I feel like that's staged though. I don't think those people were I think those people were like actors, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
No, man, they got arrested. I don't know. I didn't watch
yeah,
a lot of that,
I
but
don't know.
yeah.
But the other show that I really like didn't like watching was the What Would You Do with John Quinones. God, I fucking hate that guy. Because it's just like you put me in a tough spot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like sometimes okay, I'm a very like I mind my own business kind of person.
You're
So
non-confrontational.
yeah, like I'm like if something's happening, I'm just gonna look the other way or walk away, and like if I'm walking away and all of a sudden like 10 camera guy runs out, freaking guy on the boom mic, and John Quinones
Yeah.
come out like,
Like, hey, you
oh,
didn't
we're yeah,
punch the server that was flirting with your girlfriend. Like,
exactly. I'm like, bro, what?
This is how I know I
Uh,
am from a different generation, because you said, "Oh, the show What Would You Do?" and I went to a completely different show.
What show was that?
Really? Yeah.
There was a Nickelodeon show with Mark Summers where people would get pied and slimed and called.
It was called What Would You? It was that post Double Dare?
That was probably pre-Double Dare.
Really?
Yeah.
Man,
This was
Winston,
in
did
the
you ever
era
watch-
of Wild and Crazy Kids, and yeah.
See, I was an early adopter of Nickelodeon because we got cable.
yeah.
You can't do that on television. I mean,
Post
Winston,
that, yeah.
did you ever watch Double Dare, Winston?
No, I've never seen it. I don't even know what it is.
Okay, it was Tony probably helped me out here. It was like a game show, but it was kids and they ran this obstacle
It's
course.
families. It wasn't just kids. It was like a
Right.
4-person family. Mm-hmm.
I thought you said poor person.
No, 4-person.
You know, there were four.
Poor person too. And I was like,
Four-person
no,
family.
you know what's so funny? Because you said that, and I goes, oh yeah, Vietnam have that. I'm not joking. No, I'm not joking. There was shows in like Vietnamese cable
With
or,
poor
like, just-
people?
yeah, where like poor family would compete for like money, like well, not against each other, but it would be like they would like show up like this production company would show up like where this family like lives like in their village or whatever, and they would
And
like
their lean-to
set up-
shack.
yeah. And they would set up like obstacle course and stuff. And they would be like, if you beat this obstacle, you get these prizes. or whatever."
Groceries.
Yeah.
But it's like it would be funny if they goes, and if you don't, you get nothing. Like, but they obviously had like, extra like stuff.
Get a
that they could
shame
do.
on your village.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
Double Dare was was like a kid family game show where, again, the first half you would answer like trivia questions, and if you didn't know it, you could pass and dare the other
Mhm.
family, and if
Yeah.
they didn't know it, they could double dare you to do it, and you would either answer or do a physical challenge. And they had all these
Oh,
crazy
geez.
things where you'd have to fill up a bucket with colored water using some contraption that's belted to you, so you'd have to like duck into the water and fill the
It was
bucket.
very messy.
It was very
Yeah.
messy, and then whatever family won would do the obstacle course at the end, when it was all these intentionally messy obstacles, and it was all interesting things like
You had to grab flags,
you had to
right?
grab a flag in each one, and there was like 10 or 12 obstacles, and it's like every one that you got past, you got a different prize for, and they got increasingly better. But like there was a slide that you'd go down that'd cover you in junk, and the bottom was filled with like this messy fake giant sundae, or there was a giant nose that you have to
Right,
dig in
yeah.
its boogers for a
Always,
flag.
always a nose full of
Oh.
snot that you had to grab a flag out of.
I was
yes.
like, there was a
Oh.
giant peanut butter and jelly sandwich that you had to dig through all the goop and find the flag.
flag,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh man.
It was all these
Yeah,
really
but
neat,
That
funny.
sounds super fun.
It was-
as a
it was
kid,
really
as a kid, you're like, I want to be on this show.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I can beat these morons that are like
I
doing
feel like
really
that's-
poorly in these
Yeah.
obstacle courses.
I feel like that's like such a universal thing to feel when you're watching like those competitive shows as a kid. Because
Yeah.
I remember watching shows, I'll be like, this is who you got? Like,
I
like,
can,
come on,
I can tell. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I can
That's I.
smoke these fools.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, like I even talked about the Bozo show. Like, why
yeah,
did
that's
these
right. I was
morons?
gonna
Yeah,
say,
these
yeah.
morons get 3 buckets. What's wrong with them? But yeah, Double Dare was a big
Yeah.
one. That was one of the early Nickelodeon game shows, and yeah, Mark Summers was the host. So that's
Love
why
that
like
guy.
everybody between my age and Tony's age knows who Mark Summers is. He went
Yeah.
on to host, I think, some shows on like the Food Network. Like
Unwrapped. He was the
yeah,
voice of Unwrapped, where they showed you how to like in the factory how they made stuff.
yeah.
Ah.
I'm
I
gonna
always wanted
steer
to
us.
know how a candy cane was made.
And no, I'm gonna steer us back to Halloween
Yeah,
as
let's
I tried to
go,
do
yeah.
before.
I got Christmas candy in there.
Sorry.
Yep. Um, let's talk real quick. What? So we talked costumes that we wore last year.
Homemade Yoda.
What was? Did anybody have a costume that they wanted to wear and never got to wear?
Oh,
I have one like that I talked about last year and I didn't get to wear it this year, but it was
I'm not
the,
sure that anybody joining today has watched last year's episode, so I think you're probably safe to say it
Okay.
again.
Yeah.
well, last year I said I wanted the full like super detailed Batman.
Oh, this is as
costume.
an adult. I think
Yeah.
I think
No,
Tony's
no,
question
no.
was as a kid, but
Oh,
yes,
as a
why
kid?
are you not
No,
seeing you in a full
that's
cowl?
fair. Because
Yeah.
Winston, I'm with you. If I could just pick a costume, First Order Stormtrooper armor
Oh,
is so
man.
freaking sleek.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
God, that's
There
like
you-
that's like at the top of my list. It's $300 investment, but I'm like, oh my God, I could be Batman all year. Yeah,
How
it'd be
many,
great.
how many occasions would you wear it?
I would wear
Anytime
it to
you
my
could.
I
Yeah.
would wear it to my wedding. I
Yeah,
would wear
maybe
it to
this
my-
is getting into this is
the
getting
birth
into
of my
R-rated,
firstborn.
X-rated territory.
Yeah.
I don't need to know about
No,
that.
no. I was just saying like all important
I'm
events.
Batman.
I would get Burry in it. Like I would.
Yeah?
I feel like
Okay,
that would
that's
be
good.
cool. Yeah.
Brian, do you
Billy-
have an answer?
confuse some grave robbers.
Yeah.
One thing that I never went as but was preparing for was Freddy Krueger. I
Mm.
bought the glove, and this is again, you know, in a time that I look back and I'm like, my parents let me do so much cool stuff that I would never let my children do now. You know, I got Chinese throwing stars. I had butterfly knives.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was like obsessed with ninjas at one point, and so I had nunchucks, the whole thing. But yeah, I was thinking about being Freddy Krueger one year, and I got the glove. You know, they sold a glove, and it had plastic, you know, claws on it or
Yeah.
whatever. So again, you look back, and you're like, my parents let me. I don't remember what I used, but my dad gave me some tin snips, and I had some metal, and I traced the plastic claws onto this metal, and then cut them out in the tin snips, and then affixed them to the claws so they actually had metal claws on it.
That's right.
So I
You
had a
told me
Freddy
this, yeah.
Krueger hand that had metal claws sharpened to a point. I seriously could have, you know, injured someone or myself with them, but I didn't. You know, it was just I was like I had a cool Freddy Krueger, but I never got the mask or the hat or the sweater, so I never
So
went
you
with
just
him.
walk
so that,
around with the claws?
yeah,
You
I
just
think it was
ride
probably
with
in,
Freddy
yeah.
Krueger claws.
Yeah, again, I wandered my neighborhood with you know nunchucks and the Chinese throwing stars. I mean, you know,
Winston, imagine you got metal Wolverine claws.
yeah.
You don't need a costume.
Yeah.
You
fair
just wear
enough.
those when you
I
want.
am Wolverine at that
That's
point.
it.
Hell
Yeah, that's
yeah.
all. You just go.
I'm
I'm
Freddy
just gonna.
Krueger.
I'm gonna.
Yeah.
You're sitting at home and you just walk past them. You go. I'm holding these for the next half hour because
Yeah.
they're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell
Yeah.
you what though, when I was a kid, I had that as a toy. It was like it's like the Hulk Buster, like not Buster, the Hulk Fizz, but it was the Wolverine one.
Oh.
And it's like if you like throw your hands out, like the freaking claws come out. It was badass, man.
What about you, Tony? Tony's got to have one at Locked and Loaded. I'm
Yeah.
imagining.
Oh, I was gonna go. I said my Stormtrooper one, but
Oh, that's your adult one. I didn't know if you
Yeah.
had one as a kid that you wanted to go as.
I mean, I always wanted to do a Jedi costume,
Yeah.
but
what about Padawan one?
Well, yeah.
Bigger hairs.
No, in high
could
school,
now.
I went and just bought like a pattern, like a costume pattern for it. And I had a friend's mom who's like, I'll sew that up for you. So I went and bought the material, gave her the pattern. She took my measurements and made me a costume.
Was
Oh,
it
that's super
Stacy's
cool.
mom?
No.
No.
Yeah, I had
Extra
a
measure on your inseam. I'm
I-
just making sure.
I had
Yeah.
an Anakin Skywalker costume
Oh,
that
that's
no
super
longer
badass.
fits me. I've gotten fat.
Yeah.
But
How
I wore
old
it
were
for
you?
years.
How old were you when you got that?
I was in high school, so I was probably 16, 17.
Oh, okay, so that was before the backlash. When did the backlash of Anakin Skywalker happen?
There was
Before
a
that,
backlash?
episode 1 was 99. So 2002 would have been episode 2, and then
Damn it! I inadvertently
2006.
cashed in the Star Wars coin, didn't I?
Yeah.
So, so it was around that time. It would have been after episode 2. I graduated in 06 when episode 3 came out. So,
Right.
Okay,
Um,
so were you still going trick or treating then?
again, there was things in high school where it was just like
Yeah, you had younger siblings though.
I had
too,
younger
yeah.
siblings, so I
Yeah.
would dress up for that. I was in marching band, and we did a Halloween parade where marching band dressed up. And then that followed. That costume came with me to college for Halloween parties and things.
That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
Oh, that's really funny. Yeah, that's I guess part of the reason I don't actually have a costume on hand right now is at some point you phase out of going to Halloween parties as an adult. And so yeah, now at this age there's
This is
not
it. This is our Halloween party.
this
Yeah,
It's true.
this is it. Yeah.
See,
Well,
I was just
we'll
about
try harder next year, Brian.
so
I think
Tony,
you said
I
that
was
last year.
I was about to say it's a Peter Brady party. And
What's that?
that's one of those sayings that we talked about last, like a reference that like I could say and like you guys would be like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's a reference to the Brady Bunch where Peter Brady had a party and no one came. And so
Ah,
that term, a Peter Brady party, kind of was like, if you had a party and nobody came. Also, not to be confused with the Sausage Fest, which would when you'd have a party and nothing but dudes would show up. That was a
Yeah.
whole other thing.
right.
Um, So
Wait, I want to
let's-
say when I was a
Mhm.
kid, I wanted to dress up as Ghostface Killer with the freaking like pumping blood thing that
Oh,
goes
yeah,
off the
everyone had
mask.
those.
Freaking, yeah, man. I
that a
always
wrestler?
wanted that as no, that
no,
was
Rapper.
from
Scream.
Scream. Yeah.
Oh,
Everyone, yeah,
Isn't
everybody.
Ghostface Killer a rapper too?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
good,
Ghostface Killer
okay.
is also a rapper, but
But
that's
everybody
Killer with a
knew
AE.
everybody knew another kid who had the Scream mask.
Yeah,
that
with the
had
blood.
the blood that
The
you'd
pump.
pump
Yeah.
into it.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
he was called Ghostface Killer?
Mhm.
AH?
Yeah. Yep. No, Killer. ER.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killer.
Killa was the rapper. Yeah.
Killa,
But-
AH was the rapper, or A
Yeah.
apostrophe, and
Yeah.
Killer was the Scream guy.
Yes.
Okay.
But the thing is, the reason why I say that was because in Vietnam, if you wanted to get one of those pumping mask thing, it was extremely expensive. So that's why I never got it as a kid. But yeah, I mean, it was a simple costume. You get a knife, you get the freaking blood pumping.
Like, hey, you should have just
get a
sent me or
hooded
Tony an email. We totally could have
Yeah,
sent you
man.
one.
Totally. I wish I've known you guys back in 2000.
I'd have sent you one this year if you told me.
That would have been super
Yeah.
awkward that
Yeah.
I was email communicating with a Vietnamese boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a-
Never-
John
let's
Hanson
let's move
shows
on.
up.
I know Winston had a story. I had an epiphany during this
Uh-huh.
episode. I'm like, I do have a story that I can tell.
I have
A
Um,
two
scary one, a
stories.
haunted one.
Yeah, we've got
Yes.
it's scary story time. We're gonna end the episode with this.
Story time.
Who would
Yeah.
like to go first?
I have none. I have
Oh,
none.
I thought you
Come
said you
on,
have
man.
one.
No, no, no,
Oh,
no. There's
You
no.
said
I
that.
thought we
you
all
said
had
today
one.
you had one. Come
Let
on,
me
man. You
think.
show
Let's
up
see.
so
Yours.
unprepared, man.
Winston,
I do.
Winston's
I
been
do.
dying to tell his.
I do
I'm
have
waiting
two,
for Winston.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll cover for Brian. So the first story come from Brian.
Actually, I did have one, but it's not a haunted one. It's a weird one. But anyway, carry
Okay.
on.
That works.
Well, if you feeling up to it, you can
Yeah.
tell it after. But okay, so the first one that I have is have you guys ever heard of the black-eyed children?
Hmm?
Yeah. So
No,
okay, so
is that what
it's
the Black Eyed Peas were before they became.
yes. No, so the black-eyed children was they're urban legends. We don't know how true this is or whether it's even real.
Checks
But
notes.
yeah, so back in 1969, there was this happened in Texas. There was a man, and he was driving through a neighborhood one night, and he see two little kids standing, waving him down. They were wearing hoodies, so he stopped the car, and he rolled his window down as these kids approach his passenger or his driver's side window, And like as he was rolling down his window, he like kind of felt a sense of like uneasiness. He was a little confused. He didn't know how to feel. And at that moment, like the children looked at him, and that's when he see that their eye was like pitch black. There was like no white part of the iris, and it was just all black. And so he freaked the hell out, and he just slammed on the gas, got out of there. So then he then reported to the, police station or the press or whatever. And they were like, well, you sound fucking stupid. Like, that's not a real thing. But then after that, there was like spotting of the same black-eyed children across America. So like in Oregon, a woman said she was throwing out the trash when she saw two little kids standing by her trash can with fully blacked out eye. And so I don't know. It's not that scary, but I just think that it's freaking creepy as hell that, like just black-eyed children are showing up, next to your car, next to your trash can. I don't know. I just think that's freaky.
Did you see the? Sorry, no, go ahead,
I was
Tony.
gonna say, so, and this is a relatively new like urban legend. This is 1996.
Oh, 96. I got it mixed up between 69 and 96. Yeah.
And they're first reported in Abilene, Texas.
Where's
Which means nothing to nobody except that's where my sister now lives.
No.
That's where
Can
I'm
she
going.
confirm the black-eyed children?
No, you're gonna see the black-eyed
So what?
children.
Yeah. So I'll have to report back after I make my trip out to Texas to see.
You can be looking around for them.
I will be on the lookout for them.
When was the sightings of clowns? Remember when that was happening?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like 2019, 20.
That's what
Yeah.
this reminded me of. When I mean, a
Yeah.
little different, but like when people were showing up in freaky ass clown masks because
Right.
everybody was like, I think universally most people are kind of weirded out by clowns.
It was off of the.
2016.
Okay.
Oh, really? How close was that to the movie It being released? Because I feel like that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
The
It was either
remake.
It or it was It or It 2 or
2017 was It Part 1. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think
When
it
was the
around
first
that time.
It with
19 something. 90 something? The original It, right?
with what's his name from Rocky Horror Picture Show?
1990 it looks like. Yes.
With what's his name? Dr. Frankenfurter from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, geez, oh man. Yeah, now you're
Tim
Curry.
Tim Curry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right.
Which,
but yeah.
which is equally weird, but yeah, he's not nearly as freaky as, the Sarsgaard as Pennywise.
Oh,
I don't
jeez,
know. I
he's
think they're
freaking-
both
Sarsgaard is always good
freaky.
though, I feel. Yeah.
Yeah, didn't realize that the punk band Pennywise didn't realize that for a long time that they're named after
Yeah.
the clown.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. So
Damn
all
it.
right, that was my first story. Now I have a second story, and it was a real story told to me by my girlfriend. So she grew up in Vietnam, but she grew up in like the middle of Vietnam. So out there it's more rural than it is where I grew up. So kind of imagine like Savannah is where she grew up. Like Savannah, Georgia would be similar to where she grew up. I kind of basically grew up in what would be like New York, where it's all like concrete, everything.
Okay, so ignorant American, you've
Mhm.
got Vietnam, you've got North Vietnam, you've got South Vietnam.
Mhm.
There was a dividing line, right?
No,
That's what the war was about?
That was Korea. Korea got the dividing line.
No,
That's why they became North Korea and South Korea.
No, I know that.
No, there was never a line. They set up a line, but then like they fought through it. So yeah.
What was the Vietnam War about? Was
The
the
Vietnam
South
War-
like chilling and the North was like trying to be communist, trying to take over the South?
Yeah, well, it depends on who you ask, but essentially,
Well,
yeah, it was like
I'm looking for a factual basis. See, my
Yes, yes.
public school system has failed me, so I'm trying to get. This is
But you're
really my
asking the
ignorant-
wrong
I'm just-
guy. I wasn't there.
You were.
He-
You
I
were
wasn't
there.
alive.
No, but
yes.
you learned this. in
He
school. You got-
barely
you got-
watches a movie that's older than him. You think he knows about
Exactly.
history before him?
He had Ho Chi Minh playing cards. Come on,
Yeah,
like
I
I
did
need
have
to
Ho Chi
know.
Minh playing card.
He's got a better idea than you or me, Tony.
Yes, but essentially, it was like the North wanted the South to become communist because the South was more of a republic, I think is what
Right.
it
Kind of
was.
like the
Yes.
North wanted the South to get rid of their slaves, but
Yeah,
that's that whole thing in the
exactly.
United States. Okay.
Yes, but that was it. So, all right. Anyway, back to the story. Ooh. Anyway,
World
so
history, damn it.
right. So Sunny grew up in like my girlfriend Sunny grew up in like a
We
more
just saying her
rural
name like
area.
that out there?
You can believe it. I mean, there's 4 people here. And one of them is me. So there's three other people here.
Right.
One of them
Like
is Henry, and he's not really watching either.
right. But like the
Um,
audio portion doesn't go out to where, Tony? Australia? Down under? Good day.
Russia.
Russia.
yeah. Anyway, so
The Vietnamese are coming for y'all.
right, no, seriously. So she was telling me that she would go after school, she would go home. And because Vietnam doesn't have school buses, you would have to kind of really like walk to get to your house. So she was telling me when she was leaving school, she would go past this like into this little alleyway to go to her grandparents' place. So on the way to her grandparents' place, there's a giant tree. It's like a cedar tree or something, but it's a huge tree that was kind of just in the middle of an alleyway. And like in Vietnam, I don't know what it is, but like it's always like even my parents talked about it, but like a weird big tree is always super haunted for some reason. And like this is confirmed by like Sunny too. So she was telling me she every time she would walk by it, she would hear a woman crying, and she would freak the hell out, and she would just run. So she would run to her grandparents' place, and then like have her uncle walk her home from there. But if it was just her, then it would be like, oh, maybe you're hallucinating or something. But she told me that, yeah. But she told me she would go with her friends home from school, and they would all walk past this tree together, and it would just be a voice of a woman crying. So she ended up asking her grandma what had happened, or like why there was a crying woman voice near this tree. So her grandma or grandpa had told her that a long time ago there was a lady that lives in that alleyway, and her newborn baby died, and I think they buried it by where the tree was. And
What?
so, yeah, it's Vietnam. It's rural Vietnam. And so so the lady was so sad about it that she ended up passing away. But I guess because, Buddhism, because she feels like her life was still on Earth, that's why her spirit remained, and that's why you can hear crying every time you walk past that tree. So that's to me that's super creepy.
So she heard it
Um,
though. She
she
like, I mean,
heard it.
this is not
Mhm.
like she thought, yeah, it was like wind whistling through something. Like she
Yeah.
heard cry.
And
Oh
it's
man.
not just her, it was her and her friends who heard
Right.
it. So they would all walk past it, and they would hear it, they wouldn't say anything, and they would get goosebump, and they would just bolt out of there. And when they asked each other later, like, hey, did you hear like crying noise? They all agreed that yes, we all heard it. So
That's crazy
I mean,
to
that's super
experience
creepy.
that before
Yeah.
hearing the story
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
not be influenced by the story.
I was gonna
Right.
say
Yeah.
that kind of makes it, yeah, that makes it seem a lot more legit of like
Yeah.
actually happening. That's crazy.
Um,
I'm a huge skeptic on that sort of
no,
stuff.
I
So
mean, I here's the reason why I almost feel like I was a doubter, but then I really think about it, and like my parents kind of had like the same experience when they were younger too, when they were like around my age now. Like my dad told me the same thing, like near where my grandma's place was, there was a big tree in an alleyway, and it was the same type of thing where every time you walk by it, you get a very uneasy feeling. And I guess it's also because if you have a big tree in the middle of an alleyway and it's like dark and you just see freaking branches everywhere, that could be kind of creepy. So I mean, I can get it, but it was the fact that my parents also say like, it always felt haunted is what they said. So um I can totally see where that's coming from. But yeah,
that's
that was
nuts, and
yeah,
yeah, that's creepy.
yeah.
Have I told my story on here about the time I almost got killed in the Blue Ridge Mountains?
No, what?
Okay.
Yes.
Have I told it on the
think
podcast?
Oh, I don't know.
Not
But
to
tell it
me.
again.
I don't think I
'cause-
have.
Yeah.
Okay.
As
Well,
keeper of our lore, I don't believe I have.
Okay.
Right.
So In college, I had a roommate also named Brian. And
Did you have one named Winston too?
no, I didn't. No, I wish. He calls me up one day. He's moved off campus, and he calls me and goes, "Hey, me and a couple of my buddies are going camping this weekend. Do you want to come?" I'm like, "I'm not doing anything. Let's go camping." I went, "I don't have anything. I don't have a sleeping bag. I don't have any of this." He goes like, "Don't worry. We're going to rough it anyways. We're going to go onto this trail in the Blue Ridge Mountains. We're like going to hike halfway, and the end of the trail is a waterfall. So we'll hike halfway and then hike up to the falls in the morning and have breakfast and go back." That sounds pretty
This is
cool.
in Pennsylvania, right?
No. This is I went to college in Virginia.
Oh, right.
It's the Blue Ridge Mountain.
Blue Ridge.
Blue Ridge goes from Georgia all the way up. It goes
West Virginia.
Yeah, I grew up in like the Appalachian Mountains, but so we're talking a little further south.
Right.
Insert banjo music here.
Yep. So we get some supplies and stuff together, and we're like, we're just gonna like, basically we're gonna put a tarp down on the ground. We're gonna pitch a tarp tent over us, and then
roughing it, man.
Yeah, like he's like, we got a sleeping bag for you and stuff.
On the dirt. Oh,
yeah, he's like, we're just gonna, we're gonna find a flat place. It'll be fine. We're gonna go out there. Like Brian had a hatchet. I had another buddy who had a big hunting knife and stuff like that. I've got nothing.
Collectively, we have enough to camp.
I've got nothing. I like carried other supplies and stuff. Like
very ill-prepared camping trip.
Yeah. So we get on the Blue Ridge Parkway and we're driving and we find, and basically it's like this scenic turnoff where you like park your car and you look out and there's an overview and stuff. But at this overlook, there's an opening in the guardrail where it goes down into the woods.
Mm.
And it's just this, I mean, you're already on the parkway. You're away from a lot of other stuff to begin with. And then it's just a dirt road that switches back down the mountain. So we had gotten a later start than we intended. So by the time we got to this switchback, it's already starting to get dark. Like the sun's starting to go down.
God,
so we're going down this switchback and we miss the turn for the trailhead. So we're going, and it's like 15 minutes. We're going back and forth, and we're like, we definitely missed the turn. So we get down to the valley. And again, we are 20 minutes from a town on the parkway, and then we're another 15, 20, 25 minutes on this dirt road off of the highway. There's no signs, there's no lights. It's not a road, it's just a trail.
Oh, geez.
And we find these houses.
What?
There's like 3 or 4 houses in the valley.
Oh, God.
And we don't really see anybody. They're kind of run down. I mean, this is like straight up hillbilly
area. A moonshine still nearby.
We get to the last house.
It's the incest family that live there.
So we get to this last house, and there's these 2 enormous elderly people with they're got to be in their 70s, 80s.
I'm gonna
and
be enormous.
There's like a dozen children, no older than the age of 6, running around this yard.
What the
freaking heck is going on? We're like, we don't want to, but we got to ask directions. So we roll down the window and we're like, hey, we're looking for Apple Orchard Falls. And they're like, oh, you gotta turn around, go second right. We're like, okay, thanks. So we turn around and hightail it out of there. And I'm like, I did not like that.
Well, at least you were in the car, though, right? Like, I thought you were walking the whole time. It's 4
college guys. You know, some of us had weapons, and it's like, that's okay. So we get to the trailhead. By this point in time, it's dark. So we all had headlamps. We put our headlamps on, grab all our stuff, walk. Now we probably hike for a good 15, 20 minutes into the woods, find a flat-ish area.
At this point,
cleared,
it's nightfall, though, right?
Oh yeah, it's dark.
Yeah.
We find a cleared area that's relatively flat, off just a few feet off the trail. So we make a little fire pit, cook ourselves up supper. And then we're like, all right, time to turn in. So, we're good campers. We put out our fire. We string up any of our leftover food so bears aren't coming for it. Again, the idea was put down a tarp and then string up a line and put just another tarp over us.
No.
As we're doing
Jesus
this,
Christ.
it starts to rain.
Oh,
And we're like, just angle, we're gonna do this so we're not gonna get wet. But in doing so, we're now not sort of flat. We're on a bit of an incline.
oh,
So we've got 4 guys in vinyl sleeping bags on a tarp that has all just slid down into one another, with the rain also coming down into us.
Oh,
We stayed there trying to sleep for half an hour until we're all just like,
no.
and again,
leave.
they're
Yeah.
like, Tony, you'll be at the end here. And I'm like, great. So if anything comes, they'll get me first, and
You
I have
first, yeah.
no defense.
Yeah.
I love it. And we're all smashed into each other. We're getting wet. We're all miserable. And we're like, screw this. We're going home. Like,
Yeah.
it's 2 a.m. I don't
Oh,
care.
jeez.
Yeah.
So
But you parked your car further away, right?
we parked
So
at the
you
beginning of the trailhead, and like there's a parking area there and a sign that tells you, hey, this is the trail to Apple Orchard Falls. So it's like a
Yeah.
legit
right?
hiking trail, but it's in the
Right.
middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So we're like,
You
screw
veer
this.
off, you run
So,
into the
Yeah,
townies.
at this point
Or
in
the-
time,
the
we're
hill
like,
folk.
whatever. We're already wet and miserable, so we tear everything down. We're soaked. We grab all of our crap. Yeah, we've got our headlamps. We walk the 15, 20 minutes back to the car.
In the rain.
In the rain, it's
cover.
pouring. We
Oh.
throw the stuff in the back. We get in. We're like, let's just go back. So
Done.
we're driving, and again, so it's this switchback road that we got to, and then you had to take another trail off of that. So we're on the trail going back to the back road, and it's a dirt road. It's a single lane dirt road. So
Yeah.
we're going there. We're
Yeah, what
trying
time is it at this point? Probably.
2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the middle of
Gotta
the
be
night.
like 2 to
Yeah.
3 a.m. Yeah.
We're driving back to the switchback dirt road, and this pickup truck with its high beams comes flying. I'm telling
Oh,
you,
what
50
the
miles an
fuck?
hour on this dirt road, the opposite direction. And we pull off, and they come zipping past us. And we're like,
What the
that was
shit?
it.
Yeah.
that was it. If we would have been there another 10 minutes, we'd all been dead. Because
They were
I'm
coming
like,
for ya.
nobody knows that there's anybody out here except
Except-
the freaking maniacs.
That you
Yeah.
asked.
Down the hill.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
creepy.
And I'm just like, I have no explanation of who could have possibly been in that truck. I said, we would have had 4 slash tires and 4 slash throats. That's what we would
Yeah.
have had in another 10 minutes.
Or
Oh my
4
God,
hog-tied
yeah.
fellas.
Oh
Yeah, I
my
was
gosh.
gonna
I'm just
say,
like, when
That's how they were feeding those children, man. Freaking campers.
Probably. It
Oh,
was
man, that's why they were so fat.
It
Yeah,
was the
exactly.
closest I feel like I've probably ever been to.
Oh,
One of the times I've
man,
ever been
that's-
closest to dying.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have a
that's
couple other
horrible.
times that I could tell on a different time,
Oh my god.
but I'm just
that's
like, nobody.
creepy.
We didn't tell anybody
Yeah.
else that we were going out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just the 4 of us,
And
and,
I'm
nobody
assuming
knew
when you
except
were-
those freaks
yeah.
down there.
they were the only
I'm
ones.
assuming when you were leaving the trail, there was no other cars in the parking lot either, right?
There was no
Not
parking
that I
lot.
remember. There
Well,
was a
wherever you
parking
park the
area, but
car-
I don't remember
yeah.
there being anybody else there.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So there would have been no reason for this person to be rushing at 50 miles per hour.
Oh,
At
that's
2:30 in the morning?
Oh man.
Absolutely
Dude,
not.
you think the guy get there, got out of the parking area, hiked the whole thing 15 minutes, and was just like, fuck, that was them back there.
I don't know, but as soon as we saw them, we're like, floor it. Like, get out
Oh,
of here.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mountain
that's fucking
folk.
creepy. Yeah. Oh god, I hate that.
Fun stuff, man.
Yeah, I can't imagine camping. Like I'm very anti being outside my house when it's dark out. It's just disgusting. It's
You're too
scary,
soft,
it's-
Winston.
No, yeah, but at least I'm alive. You know what I mean? Like I'm in the comfort of my own home. I could have been like Tony. I could have been chased down by freaking hills
Yeah.
people at
Could be
3
dead.
a.m.
Yeah. Hill
Yeah.
people, yeah. You
Yeah.
got
Hey.
some hill people that are they be nice, and then some hill people that are scary.
Hey man, not to me. I'm Asian, so I'm already. It's already bad.
All hill people are
Yeah.
bad.
Hey, since Brian said hill people, it's time to wrap up. Thanks for listening to this Halloween episode. If you liked it, tell a friend. More fans would be great. Rate and subscribe wherever you're listening so you don't miss out on new episodes. Remember, downloads help us more than streams, but we appreciate you listening anyways. If you want us to talk about something, show up in chat live or send us an email at podcastxyz.podbean.com. You can also check us out on Instagram and YouTube. We have a store. More news on that coming soon. We may be running a holiday sale soon, so keep an ear out for that. So for a bit of a discount, so we'll give that out early so you can get your stuff before Christmas time. But check out our store and Winston's watch and listen list at our home on the web, podcastxyz.podbean.com. I think I said that as our email address before too, didn't I? Email address is podcastxyz@gmail.com. Our website is podcastxyz.podbean.com. Now that I've got all of my things straight, we will see you next time.
Happy Halloween, everybody.